1811 4000। यही कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन।
जागो ग्राहक जागो।
This is Face the Nation, broadcasting live from the CNN IBN headquarters in New Delhi with Sagarika Ghosh.
Hi there, very warm welcome to you. Today is Dhanteras. In many parts, the day, according to Indian tradition, on which to accumulate wealth. Consumers crowd markets on Dhanteras. Diwali is almost here and it's time for card parties and lots of shopping. Spending is supposed to spur productivity, yet according to a recent report, the percentage of the population below the poverty line could be as high as 50%. So is materialism a good thing or not? That brings us to our question of the day tonight, the Diwali debate. Is materialism good for India? Type QTD space Y for yes, QTD space N for no. SMS your answer to 51820. You can also vote online and express an opinion on IBNLive.com, and you can also join us on Twitter this Diwali weekend and send us your tweet on this question. Joining us tonight, Suhail Seth, Managing Partner Counselor, just joining us. We have Abhay Hema, Market Analyst, also with us, and Sriram Khanna, Managing Trustee, Consumer Voice, eminent citizen of India, joining us. Thanks, gentlemen, very much indeed. First, the top story on Face the Nation. The festival season accounts for a whopping 30% of consumer durables. Our reporters did a check of the shopping lists.
It's Diwali, the time to light up our lives and lighten our wallets. The markets are sparkling just like the fireworks. So Pratibha and I went out window shopping to check out the buzz in the markets and breathe in some festive air.
With the markets taking a downward swing, consumers had shifted from spending mode to saving mode. And to get them open their wallets again, retailers have stepped up festive discounts and price cuts. But just how much has it helped?
The sale tag comes with a lot of shopping. You know, you don't even realize, just suddenly your inhibitions for shopping really goes at your minimum and your sales go up.
Sales have gone up 15% since last month in the mall Benu manages. And selling like hotcakes are the usual suspects, clothes.
They are offering a lot of discounts, but I don't think it's really, it doesn't really matter. If you want to shop, then you are going to shop, whether you're getting discounts or you're not getting discounts.
With the economy now showing some signs of recovery, the Indian consumer is definitely spending his heart out this year.
We are at T Nagar, where the festive shopping is on its peak. The streets are brimming over with people who have come to shop for household items, jewellery and clothes. And according to the retailers, they have seen an increase of about 15 to 20% in the sales compared to last year.
In fact, if you look into the consumer items as well as any other item for that matter has gone up, but the purchasing power of people as well as has gone up equally well.
LCD TVs, washing machines, refrigerators, digicams. Diwali is just another excuse to loosen the purse strings. And with the Indian consumer on a shopping spree this festive season, recession definitely seems to have faded into the past. With Pratibha Parmeshwaran in Chennai, in New Delhi, this is Gitika Pokhriyal.
Recession? What recession? No recession for the Indian spending class. Let's get to the initial results now of our SMS poll. The Diwali debate, is materialism good for India? What are you telling us? 50-50. That's the first time we've had that kind of a result on Face the Nation. Let's get into Crossfire. Suhail Seth, I'll kick off the debate with you and I'll quote to you a tweet which Mahesh Bhatt has written saying that the virus of gluttonous consumerism which has got into the bloodstream of middle-class urban India needs to be flushed out at the earliest. Now, do you agree with Mahesh Bhatt or do you believe that one man's conspicuous consumption is another man's income?
You know, it all depends on how you celebrate. I mean, I'm sitting here in Delhi in Romi Chopra's house with the most amazing Bengali chef Chitra Ghosh cooking a splendid meal for all of us. It's not about conspicuous consumption, it's about celebrating. You know, this whole, I mean, Mahesh I love dearly, but we have to get rid of the cynicism out of this country. We've got to stop knocking ourselves for every positive step we take. And for once, we've got to admit that we are a country that's growing at 7%. There's no harm in spending money as long as you've earned it legally. I'm not some politician who's made money on an iron ore deal. I'm not a bureaucrat who's fiddled with an oil contract. I should be allowed to celebrate. There are very few reasons for us to celebrate in India. Don't take away the little reasons that we have. And I think...
So you feel that we're
Bhatt
hypocritical?
or my good friend Sriram,
we're being hypocritical about money.
No, we're not hypocritical. We are always involved in an enduring orgy of self-agony and self-pity. That orgy has to stop. India has to celebrate the little reasons that it has to celebrate. India's got to show the world that it has reasons to be happy. I mean, you know, it's not happiness at the cost of others. So I'm not saying that the art of giving needs to be replaced by the art of making obscene money. Both must coexist. But happiness can't be sacrificed every time by people knocking it around and saying, oh, why is this guy spending?
But
If
the question
you've earned
is,
it,
that's a good mantra if you earned it, spend it. But how much is too much and how much is happiness? Let's put that to Abhay Emma. Abhay Emma, Mukesh Ambani has taken a salary cut he's down from 44 crore to 15 crore now. Some would say that's not much of a cut, but he's still done it. Now, is that the way forward in times of austerity at a time when a recent report is saying that rural poverty is rising? Does the corporate sector do need to maybe cut back on the kind of vulgar lifestyles as the corporate affairs minister has said they should?
See, if you had asked me this question about a year back, I would have rubbished this argument and said no, and probably given a similar answer to what the gentleman before me said. But having seen what the world went through and how India stood out in those terms, it's not only in terms of the spending power or in terms of the cultural habits we have, even in terms of the things we did to our banking system, which were looked down by the rest of the world and a lot of the modern world, which really held us in good stead. And the two, I think, are somewhere interconnected. I think we have a culture by which we have lived. We have not grown as fast as we could have. And but at the same time, it has now, if you look back in the past 1 year, what happened in the world, and look back today, I think there are a lot of things which we need not rubbish because they are happening in the, or that is the way to go in the Western world. So I think some habits that we had, whether it was of austerity, whether it was of not being too flashy, whether it was of not leveraging too much, which I said even I would have rubbished a year back. I think if I look back with an open mind, I think they have held us in good steam. The other thing is, I also would not like to confuse people. I totally agree with the fact that happiness is a birthright, and I think we should be positive and happy. And as a nation of so many people, if we do that, I think it will make a lot of difference. But I don't think the two are necessarily correlated. You can be happy without getting down to too much of, display or too much of
right.
wealth.
So two views are emerging actually. Suhail said they're saying spending, if it makes you happy, you have earned it, you have the right to spend, and spending spurs productivity. Abhay Ahmed, they're saying we need to recapture the values of austerity. But I'm going to get in Sriram Khanna here. Sriram Khanna, as a civilization, we must be the only culture that actually worships Lakshmi. We worship wealth. In a time like this, when inequalities are growing, is there a need for that reality check, or is there a need for the middle class to spend? Because it's only if the middle class spends that people will get an income.
Sagarika, the dominant middle class in India is the Hindu middle class. The Hindu philosophy tells you that you have a duty when you are born as a Hindu, and that is dharma, arth, kam and moksha. Arth is defined as a religious duty to work, toil and create wealth. And we celebrate that creation one day in a year when we worship Lakshmi, like we worship Saraswati or Durga. So let there be no doubt that from times immemorial it has been very clear that it is the duty of the Hindu to create wealth. But along with wealth there is dharma, righteousness, your duty towards society, the art of giving, the art of austerity, lack of conspicuous consumption. So, but some of us might forget about dharma and we just focus on arth and kam. That is something incomplete. And I'd like to say, it's very nice to see Mukesh Ambani knock off 29 crores out of his salary bill, which is debited to a company account. But don't forget, Mr. Ambani has hundreds of companies where he has the liberty of debiting his personal expenditures, and there is no independent authority overseeing that. So I wouldn't take that very much more than a symbolic gesture to win a few brownie points in the tussle with his brother. But be that as it may, I would welcome. But I believe that white collar, blue collar workers, professionals have a right to earn money and they have a right to spend it as long as they keep their dharma in mind. Their duty towards the ones who don't have, the ones who are dependent on them. And my hats off to Indian entrepreneurs. My hats off to the Indian businessman. As a consumer, I love those businessmen who give me a great product at a great price and still drive in a Mercedes. I have nothing against them.
Right. Suhail Seth, how do you respond to that? I mean, the Prime Minister's social charter that he's laid out to industry saying, you know, don't be ostentatious, cut back on your spending, don't have vulgar and ostentatious weddings, the same kind of advice given by Salman Khurshid recently. Do you actually feel that this is, in fact, barking up the wrong tree because a corporate enters the marketplace in order to make money and to generate wealth? If he's going to have to cut back, then why is he in business in the first place?
Today truly is Dhanteras because Shriram has almost echoed everything that I said earlier. I think the Prime Minister has every business to raise value-based issues like Salman has raised. But here's the point, Shagrik, and let's not be hypocrites about this. The reality is that this is an aspirational society like anywhere else. So Abhay's comment that, oh, we mustn't ape the West is rubbish. You will ape any society that is evolving because that's the nature of the beast. Consumerism is as good for Shagarika as it is for Shriram, as it is for Abhay, as it is for Suhail. Because consumerism spurts productivity, which spurts competition, which lowers prices, and which makes things affordable. B, who are we to decide what quality of life which kind of people must lead? And I completely agree with the other two panelists. You must do this without sacrificing the ethicality of it all. So not for a moment am I suggesting that arms dealers must be given the right of way. No. But the reality, Shagarika, is that news channels, entertainment channels are... I think individuals. You must allow individuals their maturity to decide if they're being ethical, if they're being honest, and they're living within their means. And if they're able to set an example. I mean, my point here is very clear. If I pay my taxes, and I'm doing enough for charity, and if I'm doing enough in terms of giving back to society, I must not be castigated or chastised for the one day that I want to celebrate. And today, let me tell you, there are different worlds. You know, we are at a place where there is no cards, there's no gambling. There are friends getting together. It just happens that you choose momentous and celebratory
But Suhail, you know, when you have corporate, when you have on Diwali Day, let me put this to Abhay Emma, when you have corporates giving very expensive gifts, we've just done a report on that. You know, gone are the days of, say, sweets or candles. You're getting, you know, incredibly expensive gifts of electronic goods and all kinds of other stuff. Is this the spirit of Diwali? Would you decry something like this?
See, while I maintain that, you know, in the last 1 year, I come from the corporate world and I'm related to the stock market, hard as you may find to believe, because I'm giving a contrary argument which no person who's connected to the stock market would like to give. But the fact is, I've seen the last year, I've studied economies internationally for this 1 year, I've seen what has happened, and that makes me think and rethink as to how we operate. So, to answer your question, is giving gifts a bad thing, or has the, the way the gifts are given? I think that is a change that will happen. I think if mud lamps were the order of the day at one point of time and they've been replaced by electronic lamps, and so be it in a lot of other things, or the kind of sweets, as long as the concept of giving a gift is to express a certain amount of feeling which is traditional with us and which has been happening for decades, and it is not a way to induce the person you are giving the gift to make a judgment, so you attach a value to it. But the fact that it will change from what it was 10 years back and it will be different gift what it is 10 years later, maybe there will be a laser device or something like that, does not really bother me. So as long as it is done in the spirit of the gift and it is not an way to influence by the value attached to it, I'm pretty okay with it.
Right. So there's, I think the consensus coming out is actually there's no problem in being consumerist as long as you also fulfill your social duty. Let's take a short break at this point and come back with more. Welcome back to Face the Nation, where we're asking the question, is materialism good for India? It's Dhanteras today, on the day when tradition says we must accumulate wealth. And let's carry on with our discussion. What are you telling us there? In fact, 49% saying yes, 51% saying no. It's changed a little bit, but still even Stevens. Sriram Khanna, are we overblowing the issue? From your knowledge of the Indian consumer, do you think the Indian consumer actually is not a big spender? The Indian consumer is in fact very price sensitive, chooses wisely, and is not the kind of splurging, extravagant consumer that maybe there is in the West?
See, the Indian consumer is a very smart consumer. He will not spend a penny more than what he thinks is necessary. He is going to compare prices. He is going to compare features. And then he is going to get advice from his neighbor, from his uncle, from a friend. And a very small number will read the comparative testing results of a consumer organization. And then go and buy. But the fact is that this consumer is a big saver. He's saving 25 to 30% of his earnings on the average, which is among the highest savings in the world. And he spends, but he spends. He doesn't buy in the Shraddhs. He buys during the festival. He buys during marriage. So there are certain times to splurge and other times to save and invest. So he's a very balanced consumer. So I have great judgment. I mean, the consumer judgment is really great. And therefore, I have my faith in Indian consumers. Today, when consumers are coming back to Indian markets, they are going to be the drivers of the growth of the Indian economy.
So do you think that there's an
10 years.
unnecessary amount of moral panic about materialism, that we're losing our values, that we're being money? Is there too much of moral outrage? We don't have to be so morally outraged.
I think this panic is out of ignorance. The people who are trying to say this are out of line with their history. And I will draw your attention to the 6th century king, philosopher, saint, Bhartrihari, who said in one of his, in the Vairagya Shatak creations, he said, gold has the capability of being sarvguna sampann. And so a person who has wealth acquires all the good qualities that people in the society would like to see. What greater evidence do you see of the aspiration of the Indian consumer? He likes to work damn hard. He wants to save, he wants to multiply his money, and he wants to have a lavish wedding. He'll probably want to build a great house. So if somebody has toiled and done purusharth all his life as a Hindu, look, he's doing his duty. So,
he's entitled to a grand wedding. He's entitled to a grand wedding. Abhay, Emma, our savings rate...
He's entitled to spend his money wisely. He's entitled to do that.
Right.
He's entitled to go and see what the Americans are doing.
Right.
He's entitled to buy, a good car. He's entitled to buy, a second television in his house. He's entitled to send his son to the best college. He's entitled to get the best clothes. Why not?
I think what you're saying is what's wrong is that if he exploits his employees, if he makes his employees suffer in order for his own windfall gains, all those corrupt practices are wrong. Those are wrong. Those are wrong.
I'm saying the Purusharth includes the quest for wealth.
Right.
But it has to be balanced by dharma.
By dharma, exactly. Abhay, Emma, I'm trying to get you in here. Right, we have a savings rate of 32% and an investment rate of 35%. Our rich are paying taxes. Tax collection is at a high point. So, do you feel that instead of advocating going back to austerity, the government should actually make it possible for more people to be rich and not give feel-bad slogans like, cut back, be austere, don't spend money?
See, I personally feel that this is not an area which the government should interfere in. I mean, I can understand the Prime Minister making a statement, but I mean, there are a lot of politicians, if you look at their declaration of the wealth that they have accumulated or the percentage growth that has been over a period of time, it is quite, not a side that from where one would like to hear those kind of. In any case, conceptually, I don't think government should be in the business of telling people what to do. But having said that, while you mentioned that we are at 32%, which is the highest saving rate in the world, I think if you monetize gold, I think second highest, but if you were to monetize gold, we have the highest saving rate in the world. That plus the fact that we have probably the lowest leverage, I think is what saw us through the economic tsunami that hit the world. So I'm not going on a moral ground. I'm purely going on the fact that, look, even in economics, what has happened makes sense for us to be able to withstand. And while one respects and acknowledges the freedom of a person who has made wealth to spend it the way he likes, and there is no second question about it, the fact is that arguments like this, that what person sees, what person experiences across the board,
there has to be a
it has a kind of.
There has to be a certain austerity. Okay, Suhail said.
No, it influences him consciously or subconsciously. So that can lead to a situation.
We're completely out of time.
While one respects the.
Right, Suhail, you know the question does the rich person in India, in a country of the poor, where almost half are living below the on less than $1 a day, does the rich have a duty to be austere?
But don't be a communist. Don't sink the country into poverty when you can actually take it out of its morasses. I would say, earn with passion, spend with compassion. And if you do that as the leitmotif of your life, as the bulwark of what you believe in, we will have a more robust and more value-based society. That's the ultimate thing.
Right. Well, we're going to have to actually leave it there. Suhail Seth, Abhay Emma, Sriram Khanna, thanks very much indeed. That was a very enlightening discussion on this Diwali Eve. Well, not Diwali Eve, but it's Dhanteras, and Diwali is just a day away, and the message is compassionate capitalism, spend, but also remember your dharma. Is materialism good for India? Is the question we're asking. What are you telling us at the end of the show? 49 yes, 51 no. It's still evenly balanced. Have a wonderful, lovely and safe Diwali.